Hi guys, and welcome back after a very brief and short break. We're all very happy to be back. Lots to discuss. I'm Leonie and this is Hope Meets Banter. Hello guys, really good to see you. Nice crib.
New surroundings.
New cruise, man. New ways for 2019, man. 2019, man. So scared.
Let's exhibit.
Alright, we've got in the
Next to
house,
the
we've got Devil, we've got Hope, and we've got Drifty. Let's jump right to it. We've got so much to discuss since I've very much missed you since last week. Let's talk about Zinedine Zidane, right? The good old Frenchman. He's back at Real Madrid. What a surprise. Did he just not leave in like the end of 2017-18?
Coward.
Anyway, always good for a surprise. So I just wanted, what do you guys think about that? And especially, now that he's back at Real Madrid, what do you think about his transfer targets? Maybe like Mane, maybe like Hazard. What do you guys reckon is going to happen?
We need to pump the brakes on Mane.
No. I mean, he's playing well. He's going to get noticed, right? You want him to play well. This is what happens. The big boys are going to circle around and they're going to look.
We are
him.
big boys.
You ain't Real Madrid.
No, you're not Real Madrid. You're not Real Madrid.
There
are levels. No, Liverpool are a big club, but there are levels.
Yeah, your big
Barcelona,
boys
Real Madrid are like
welterweight division. Like Real Madrid are heavyweight. You man are big boys in your division. You can't touch them man up there.
We're welterweight.
We're welterweight.
Okay, no.
So we're only like
Cruiserweight,
three divisions away from being the lightest weight. You're taking the piss, bro. I know we had a week's break. The world didn't go crazy.
Anyway,
Cruiserweight.
Let's go. Zidane firstly coming back. It makes sense. The reason why he left. People would say, he saw that Real Madrid on a downward spiral, which they were. Apart from winning the Champions League, which is a massive achievement considering they won the two before that. Their league form wasn't great. The players were deteriorating. Ronaldo's gone. He said he wanted control of transfers. He wasn't giving it, so he walked. You've seen what's happened since, and now Perez has had to say, you know what, I'm gonna bite my tongue and say, boy, I was wrong. Come back in. I'm gonna give you control of the transfers. And with that, he wanted Mane before. Apparently, he was close before he left. Now he's back. He wants Mane again. Hazard's also on the list. Real Madrid have been after Hazard for a while, apparently. And I imagine he'll get one or the other. I'm not too sure which one. I think Liverpool are in a strong position to say, we're not going to sell Mane unless you give us 200 million. Whereas Hazard, last 6 months, last year of his contract, chances are they're going to go and give him 90 million. And
transfer ban, though. Transfer ban.
Yeah, but you can't hold on to Hazard. You might as well just take that 90. And they've got... they've already signed Pulisic. They've already signed Pulisic.
Yeah, but you.
They got Callum Hudson-Odoi. Go the season with those guys, and then you got that money sitting there from Hazard.
Look, with all you can buy with 90 million is like a glass of cocaine, and that's it. So there's not much you can do with 90 million.
A glass of cocaine.
Yeah, look, different things. No, look, basically, Zizou.
I think you're doing it wrong, bro.
Relax. I don't do cocaine. I don't do cocaine. Relax, chill.
Drugs, people,
all right, I'm a bit crazy without drugs.
Moving on from that topic.
No. Basically, Zizou. I think. Look, I feel that it's a bad idea him coming back. What he did was incredible. Like 3 Champions Leagues in a row. That's amazing. And this is what you always get told. Always leave on a high. Never outstay your welcome.
Or come back in a somewhat tumultuous kind of situation, right? Which he's coming back to now. So he's putting himself in a really nice position because nobody can blame him. And
this is what I'm saying. He thinks he's slick. He's a coward. I don't care.
No. He's a horseman. You can't call a horseman a coward.
As a player,
a coward. He's not a horseman.
As a player, legend. Loved watching him. There's no doubt. But we're talking about as a manager.
Till he headbutts people and then.
Even that was just. You can't talk about man's wife.
No, you don't start as a Spanish star.
But where I'm coming from when I'm saying about that.
Either way, deserve the head.
Either way,
moving on.
Can't talk about anyone's women.
Bad man.
The reason why I'm saying coward is because I feel like he left. There could be some truth in what you're saying. I don't know if that's it. Like, I heard that he wanted a sabbatical a little bit. The pressure was a lot, which it is at Real Madrid. I get that.
Fair.
Pep wanted to leave because of the same thing. Pep wasn't failing anyway. It was like, nah, this is pressure. Like, being at this club that's not even allowed to lose one game, do you know what I mean, in the season. So he wanted a break. And I get that. So it could be what you're saying. It could be what I've heard. Like, I don't know. But for me, I feel like he knew what I knew. And I've even said in the past, these players are old. quite a few of these need to get moved out, and there's a possibility there's a revamp needed. And it sounds stupid to talk about a club that's just won the Champions League, but it was needed. Ronaldo going 100% made it worse. If he'd have stayed, it wouldn't have been as bad. And then for me, that was his way out. I've done what I'm going to do. Leave on a high, like you said. Boom, that's me. I kind of feel like he didn't want the rebuild. Like he didn't. He within himself might even know. I'm not quite ready to take that mantra on now of being a manager who rebuilds a club as big as Real Madrid. So he walked away. Now there's a problem. I got a feeling like what you were saying. He's like, well, I can't really be judged for this because Solari has just fucked this so badly that I can't look bad.
No.
He's
He'll still be
been
judged.
long
No,
there for
next season he'll be judged.
He's overseeing the rebuild now. Now
No,
he has to oversee the
but
rebuild.
it's not his fault why it fell apart now.
It definitely
It's, do you know what I mean?
Solari's there since November.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know, and obviously, and Lopetegui as well.
Yeah.
So like those guys have like destroyed it. Now he can't be truly judged because, bro, guys, I came back to rescue you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm only human.
Okay. So if
Nice
next
and
season,
shining armor.
but let's say if next season they don't win any Champions League, they don't win La Liga, and let's say like they finish 5th, and it happens next season again.
They won't finish 5th. That won't happen.
No, but let's just say if that happens, then you failed. So then you can't blame Lopetegui and Solari. You now have a clean slate. 300 million to spend on new players.
No,
so if you fail, therefore don't blame Solari and Lopetegui.
You have to a degree, but you still have that fallback. Listen, the falling apart wasn't my fault. I tried to rebuild it. All right, I didn't, but it wasn't my fault. It fell apart. Do you get what I mean? Whereas if he was there and it fell apart under his watch, that really makes his stock lower. He's the guy who was up here. Ronaldo left, and then he crashed, and he didn't want to be that guy.
I think it's more likely he probably saw that they needed a rebuild, wanted to do it in his way. The two sides, him and Perez, didn't really meet in the middle. He said, well, boy, I'm off then. If you're not going to do it my way, I'm gone.
It could be that.
You know, that makes more sense to me.
Do you reckon that he could have his eyes set on anybody else apart from Mane and Hazard?
Listen, for a start, if there's any
From
chance
Liverpool?
of Zidane seeing this, fuck off.
Hey, language. Kids
come
watch
on.
what's this stuff, man.
No, they don't.
Kids understand. Kids understand.
Have you heard the kids on the bus?
The
They chat
kids
worse
swear
than
worse.
this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave
Then
Mane
let's
alone.
change the use. Let's change the use.
Leave
Teach the youth.
Mane alone.
Take Mane.
Listen.
Take him.
Wait, how do you mean by leave Mane alone?
I will
Leave
give him a piggyback.
Mane alone.
Why? If he's play, so
He deserves it.
if Real Madrid come for Mane should say no. Tell me right
He
now.
deserves that move.
Pogba always says Real Madrid is like
Yeah, but he's
number
prima
one
donna. They
club.
take that. Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
He deserves the move.
He
No, okay, no.
Can't hold him back.
Be
Who used to hold him
objective.
back?
Just be objective for the first. For
You're
the
talking about Sadio. It's impossible. I will not be objective about Sadio. Yeah, I will be biased as fuck.
So Sadio should stay at Liverpool rather than go to the Real Madrid.
100%.
That's the thing.
100%.
That makes no logical sense.
Here's
That makes no
another
logical
thing.
sense.
If they wanted both, let's say in an ideal world they got both. The fact that they've already got Asensio, they've got Vinicius Junior. Why would they need 4 wingers? Like they don't need 4
Asensio doesn't
wingers.
play much.
It's called
he would
options,
probably
bro.
be the back.
No, but
It's called options.
Remember, no. But you can't have players like that on the bench. There are levels to bench. Asensio's too good to be on the
Come on,
bench.
bro. You forget what Real Madrid were doing back in the day when they had man like Ronaldo and Figo and all these players. Kaka.
No, but
and man like Guti was
most of
holding
them.
bench and all them team. Come on, man.
Asensio looks like he could well excel Guti in terms of like ability. Like Asensio was looked at arguably in the same.
People sleep on Guti.
He's been crap last season.
But remember,
crap last season.
No, but
His
what I'm saying
ability
is,
there, but
Asensio was looked at in the Dembele, the Mbappe. He was in that bracket.
No, he's not the
he
Oos.
was in that
He's not
bracket.
the Oos.
But
Asensio is not the Oos.
no, I'm talking
He's not
about a
the Oos.
year ago. He was in the bracket.
No, he
with,
wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't. He
What,
wasn't.
100%. He was in the
wasn't.
You know one
conversation
thing
with
that
those
I am
guys.
100% sure on? Mane's hairline is getting worse. We need to address it. Did you see that picture I sent you on WhatsApp? That thing was on the back of his head.
When you play like that, you don't need to be good looking.
Exactly. And
Leave the
the hair
man
was
alone.
hanging onto his head, fam.
And if you
It's like, please don't leave me. His forehead's trying to get away. Leave him alone.
Leave him
Leave
alone.
the man's hairline alone.
And if he goes to Real Madrid, because he's the quiet and the humble one, he would more likely be the one to get put on the bench. At any moment, it'll be like, you've had a 1 bad game. You're the quiet one. I won't make up a fuss. Get on the bench. It'll be a bad move, man. I don't care if Real Madrid in your CV looks good. Him going to Real Madrid, career-wise, will be a bad move.
I think you have to take that move. You have to.
You don't, man.
If it's on the, if it's
a
on
new
the table,
world.
listen.
It's a
If
new
it's on
day,
the
man. The
table-
Premier League is where it's at, man.
If it's on the
Spain
table,
is dying, man.
no, that's bullshit.
When
Real
Messi
Madrid-
goes, La Liga stock drops.
No.
But
Boom.
he's
That's
still
true.
there.
But you could be part of the new wave Yeah, Real Madrid are the biggest club in world football.
Yes.
If you are a professional footballer and you have ambition,
But on the pitch-
you choose to play for a club like
every
that.
player
That's the biggest club in
on
the
the
world.
pitch, they're not, and therefore it's a risk. The rebuild
Yeah,
might
but
not
if
work.
you're part of the reason why they get back to that level, you're a legend. You're a legend in the world of
Basically, you are weak if you're saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm too afraid because if I go there,
Precisely.
I think I'll fail."
I never said
If
afraid.
you go, no.
I
If
never
you
said
go
afraid.
balls,
I
if
never
you
said
go
afraid.
balls, I'm going to be the man that leads Real Madrid to go back to the
Done.
greatness that they once
Go
were.
and ask
Yeah.
Kaká
You
what
know
that
what?
feels like.
Because Kaká ain't that great. He was overrated. Let's be real.
Come on, bro.
Kaká was overrated.
Kaká
Kaká was
what?
overrated.
Before
Very good, but he was overrated.
Real Madrid.
Let's be real. That's a different
Real
combo.
Madrid
Yeah,
ruined
save that-
Kaká.
Let's save that
No, the-
conversation.
That's ludicrous.
that's
to
another
That's
conversation.
absolutely
Yeah.
ludicrous.
I
That's a
think
video
I
in
really
itself.
like
Kaká
your
ruined himself.
analogy with, having the courage, as I would put it. And maybe this is exactly what Zidane is thinking and hoping for as well to achieve that. So we'll see how that goes. We shall keep an eye on that. Let's move on to maybe a little bit of a sore topic for some here in this room. That Manchester City, right? They could potentially take all 4 trophies home.
Quadruple, yeah.
Quadruple win.
Quadruple.
Yes, quadruple. How do you fancy their chances, guys? Do you reckon they could do it?
This
They're
feels
on their
like
way?
a piss off drifty episode.
Would we do that? Would we do that?
Like, real
Come on.
talk.
No,
man.
because
Come
we
on,
love
man.
your just
But it's true.
positive self all the time. It's just you're always so happy. So might as well.
It's a possibility. It is a possibility that they go ahead and win all 4. I
No.
don't think it's that far of a stretch, to be honest with you. I think it could happen.
Look, let me just repeat what I've said before. Lionel Messi, the Argentina Hobbits, grabbed a mic pre-season and said, "Guys, I'm going for the Champions League this season." City are not just going to walk up and just beat Messi in the Champions League. There are basically Champions League is very complex for Man City. Domestic treble, drift. I'm sorry, I think that's a wrap. I think the domestic treble is a wrap.
Okay, but what
So
what logical reason do you have to say that Man City can't go and win the Champions League?
Can't get past
it's
Juventus
It's
and in the
knockout
final.
football. It's knockout football.
don't
They might
care.
not need to get past Juventus. Do you understand what I mean? It's knockout football. It's what happens.
Ajax
on the
beating
day.
Juventus?
Possibly. I don't think they will.
well,
I don't think they will.
we
I don't
can-
think they will. But I'm
we'll
saying it's
leave
football.
that
You
for
never know.
another time.
You never know. But I think Man City have got the tools to go ahead and win the quadruple.
They don't win in the
I
quadruple.
think they have the tools. I don't
They
think
have the
I don't think it's far fetched to say that they can.
They have the
I mean, they've got one in the bag already.
Yeah.
If you look at the FA Cup, they're the
Oh, no,
firm favourites.
they're winning that.
Firm
They're winning
favourites
that.
for
They're
that.
winning
Yeah.
The league is still kind of up in the air, but you'd imagine that they're going to go ahead and win that. It could go
Begrudgingly.
either
Well,
way.
we'll see.
Could go
We'll
either
see.
way.
No, it could go
I
either
think-
way. It could go either way.
If
I think,
Liverpool beat Spurs in the weekend,
Yeah, I mean, it's
they can. I believe in
it's still
them.
mad. It's still
See,
mad.
I'm the
It's still mad.
positive one. Okay, sorry. Go on.
But I think with Man City on their day, they can beat anyone. I do believe what you're saying because Messi is on one because obviously he didn't win the Ballon d'Or and he came fifth. He's like, fifth. I'm Messi. Are you mad? And he's doing a madness. Like, he's taking the piss out of every defender in the league. Everyone. Did you see that goal he scored the other day? The hat trick.
Bro,
come on.
That he chips
Bruv,
the
I
keeper
keep
from an
telling
angle.
people,
From
just
an
give
angle.
him the Ballon d'Or
Nah.
every season. Why are you
Lionel
doing this to yourself?
It's a difference.
Start of the season, Ballon d'Or, Messi.
And
Just
there's that
be
that
quiet, please.
bloody Portuguese hairdresser is. But let's not start.
Okay. Well, Hope. Why you think they won't? Tell us. Do you reckon it's going to stop?
No,
it?
for me, I believe that the domestic treble is a real possibility, which would be huge. From the very get-go, I said Barcelona and City are favourites for the Champions League, but I think that City haven't been tested yet, and I think that
Apparently by Newcastle they have.
In the Champions League, they haven't, actually.
no, but I mean, look,
Apart from Schalke.
no, but then that's like Newcastle, like Premier League is one of the things where like anybody can beat it. But I think when you get into the Champions, that's like big boy football, and I just feel that they haven't really faced a tough test yet. It was a pretty simple group, against Schalke, and
Leon was a test for them. Leon was a test.
It was a bit of a test, but you saw how Barcelona crucified and sacrificed and pillaged and.
Oh no! I'm just saying.
No,
City
yeah, no.
have been tested a bit. They have been tested.
But I just think that Champions League is going to be. They can win it. Like from what they said, they have the squad to win it. But I just think that if Pep wins the quadruple, you know what? Like as much as I think he's an arrogant dude. If he wins the quadruple, I'll be like, that's a stat. That's a stat.
If he wins the quadruple, he is officially the best manager that ever lived.
Well, no,
he is.
No,
he is.
no.
I'm sorry. You don't do what he did at Barcelona.
No.
Then go
win
to
a
Bayern
Champions League
Munich
with
and then-
FC Porto, then we can talk.
Oh my God! Is that
Win
the
a
dude you're
Champions
talking
League with
about?
FC
I'm
Porto.
thinking that
Then we can
Ferguson
talk.
or
Then we can
Mourinho.
talk.
Get out of here with that
So I
Jose
can
dude.
spend 1 billion buy any player I want and I'll give you credit. Win with scraps.
They can't buy.
Win with scraps.
Fuck is Mourinho
Win
won
with
with scraps?
Did I mention Mourinho? Did I mention Mourinho? Did I say anyone's name?
Oh my god!
Did I mention Mourinho?
You said win the Champions League with Porto. We know who you're talking
Leonie, did I
about.
mention Mourinho? I didn't mention Mourinho.
So
Who's won the Champions
so
League
who won the
with
Champions League with
I'm
Porto?
I'm not
then?
saying.
Liverpool won
I'd have
the
to say the
Champions League
name.
with scraps,
I'd have to say the
to be
name. I'd have to say the name.
Yeah, we won the Champions League with
Win
scraps.
with scraps. Then
Jimmy
I will admire
Traore at
you.
left back is
Yeah,
scraps.
Igor Bishkan,
Bishkan, that is scraps.
That man shouldn't even be
Put
allowed
some
to see-
respect on Rafa's
Right.
name if you're going to start talking about scraps.
Yeah, Bishkan shouldn't be allowed to see green.
I mean,
pitch.
I mean,
Oh wow, okay.
Basically, Leonie, to answer your question before I was really into this, guys, if Pep wins the quadruple, that's a stat, but he should never ever be called the greatest manager of all time because
he's arguably already the
Hey
greatest.
man, let me land. Just let me land. If he wins the quadruple, that's a great stat, but he can never be called the greatest manager of all time because unless you win with scraps, that is you need that as a stat to be.
But as a devil's advocate here, right? I mean, you know, football is football, and we've seen like the greatest players come to one team and it doesn't work, right? It has happened, and there's multiple examples for this. And I do think that we have to give Pep some credit of what he achieved, even though he did have, you know, he has the best players and whatnot, and certainly the most expensive ones, or one of the most expensive ones. But again, he managed to, you know, bring them together as a team, and that's why they're performing so well. As 11 players,
you have to give him.
No, I give it credit, but I still think that a managerial skill is okay. I can win with superstars. Can I win with a bunch of bricks, which we know a certain guy has? I don't need to mention his name. So
Okay,
there you go.
what do you have to more to say to that?
I mean, Porto did not have bricks, so I don't know what he's talking
He was talking
about.
about Liverpool.
He had to, but then he's giving Rafa his credit, and we know he doesn't want to do that. For me, this quadruple talk, man, it involves my club. If Liverpool weren't involved in the title race, I'd almost be cheering him on because as a player he was one of my favourite players of all time. Like, I loved Pep as a player. I used to always watch Barcelona. Like, I adored the way he was the captain and that Barcelona team. Like, I was a Barcelona fan back then. So I'd be cheering him on. If he was in another country and it had nothing to do with Liverpool or whatever, like, I'd really be cheering him on to do this. Obviously it involves my team, which means if he does it, that means Liverpool didn't win it. So therefore I have to change all of my, and Liverpool are in the Champions League as well, so I have to change all my stance on everything. So for me, I hope he doesn't do it. I hope he crashes. I hope he burns.
Whoa, easy.
I want to live.
Jesus.
I want to live in a world where in the summertime I'm celebrating 2 trophies at my club. Wolves take the FA Cup, and he gets that puny little deadbeat League Cup, and then it's just like, whoa, what happened to Pep? Like, that's the world I want to live in right now. But it is a possibility. It's a massive possibility because, as Devo said, I think the domestic treble is nigh on theirs. Like, I can't see Wolves or Watford stopping them in the cup.
Yeah.
I hate to admit, I think they are going to win the league. Even though, obviously, every day I'm hoping and praying.
Reverse psychology.
No. Like, I genuinely, once they've got the lead, you don't really normally take it back from them. When we were in the lead, there was a part of me that was maybe doing a bit of reverse psychology. But once they took the lead, I was like, that's out the window now. Now, who's going to stop them? Do you know what I mean? So I don't really know. Champions League, though, is the one I don't think that they will.
Open.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about Champions League properly.
It later. Yep.
But that's the one that I feel will be their biggest struggle to win.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see how the light blue, sky blue people do in their nice uniforms.
Sky blue.
Right, let's talk about Ole, right? Solskjaer. Good old Gunnar.
Yeah, good.
I know, I mean, we've been talking about him
Seriously,
a lot
like
on this
every
show.
single time I see him, Hannah looks like Gunnar.
Let me land.
I'm gonna get a shirt.
We've been talking about this a lot on the show, but I do think it's actually really an interesting debate because, you know, some other voices have kind of come and put their opinions into the pot, so to speak. So we have Pogba who actually says he wants him to become a permanent manager. Even his former colleague, you know, Andy Cole now has put out an article and said, like, look, I really think he should get the permanent job. He's hit a bit of a crisis, right? He has two losses, but you could maybe say that. I mean, two losses, right? One in the Premier League, and they're out of the FA Cup now. Was that a blip? Do you still believe in it? I mean, I think it's really interesting to watch his progress.
I mean, no. You know what?
Come on, man.
I wouldn't call it a blip because tactically he looked like a mug in both games. So I'm not going to call this a blip. I'm going to call this a little bit of the Solskjaer effect is wearing off. That's what I feel like, and this is what I said, and I was hoping it didn't wear off yet because I want him to get that job. I'm really upset that it may already be showing, and therefore we won't get a Di Matteo situation where he'll get the other season and then he'll mess that season up. They'll actually realise, yeah, do you know what, and they'll go half a Poch because I don't want Man United to come back. So I'm a little bit upset it's already happened, but yeah, I just feel like it's a little bit of the shine. It's like, I think the player, like, for me, Pogba wants him to stay because Pogba does what he wants under Solskjaer. Last thing Pogba wants is a manager that's going to come in and give him rules and regulations. And
Can you guys get this guy?
No,
this guy is the biggest.
I'm being honest.
You know what you're done right now? You got a lady back to the room and you just shot your load in 2 seconds, bruv. You're shooting quick, done. Finished. Bruv, 2 games. It's 2 games.
No, I don't think they're going to be shit all of a sudden.
Right. So
but the cracks are already appearing.
You might have been tactically, worse in the FA Cup. They lost that game. That's fair enough. That happens to all the managers. You're telling me Klopp's never been found out tactically?
Yeah, but Klopp has a back record to prove that it's a one-off. With Ollie, this is a real test now, bro.
Yeah, but it's a test. But to say that it's crashed and it's done and it's
all of that is just jokes.
That's rubbish.
But what I'm saying is, I just wish the cracks hadn't shown yet.
Well, I don't even think it's cracks. It's 2 games.
It isn't crack.
Wait. Who did they play in those 2 games?
2 points away from the top 4 in the league, right?
I mean, it's hard to crack. I mean, considering where they were before.
Wait. Who did they play in those 2 games?
Wolves, they lost in the FA Cup final.
It was Arsenal.
Arsenal, they lost in the Premier League, and Wolves in the
See what I'm
FA
saying?
Cup.
Come on, man. Wolves have beaten most of the top 6 sides.
They have.
Wolves are a bloody good team.
No, of
I
course.
think that's ridiculous,
Of but it's a little crack because they look very inept in that game.
100%.
Very
He
inept
made changes.
in that game.
He met the team selection he picked in that.
Didn't Wolves knock
right.
out Liverpool as well?
Wolves.
Yeah.
But I mean, they knocked out kids out though. That was a full Man U team that got knocked out. There was no excuses. You know what I mean? That was a full Man U team that got knocked out. No, it was a full Man U team.
But my thing about this is like,
done with the injury problem.
You can't say whether it's like a full on thing because you have to see. If like let's say 4 or 5 games you don't have any points, then you're like, whoa. 2 games based on all the stuff he's done is like, guys, chill. For me, I just feel like if in that Wolves game, I think Wolves are actually one of the best teams to watch in the Premier League, and they did get 100% owned. For 90 minutes, they got their ass beat. So like that should have been 6-0 based on performance-wise. So Solskjaer got destroyed, but Espirito Santo is a bloody amazing manager. Solskjaer is still a kid in the management game. Santo is an experienced quality manager.
I mean, we say Solskjaer is a kid in the man. He's a kid within.
Apart from Cardiff,
he's managed for years in Norway for a long time,
bro.
Yeah,
I mean, he might as well be Sunday.
No, but he was
disrespected.
He was working for Man United at youth level, so he's got experience of coaching. He's got experience of managing. Let's not just say it's his first job. He's been around. He's been under good managers as well.
Sanso, FC Porto, Valencia. That's way higher than youth league and
I'm just
Norway.
saying to say that Solskjaer, this is the beginning of his career. It's not. He's put in his homework. He's done his legwork. He's worked underneath Ferguson. He's worked at Man United. He knows the club.
He played the Premier League himself.
Come on, I think you have to give him his dues. This is 2 games. There you go. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You gotta be real. I think he will turn it around. I think he will do well. Whether they give him the job or not in the summer, that's something completely different. I think they will. Because
I think they're going to announce it soon. I think
if they put it like this,
I don't think Poch is going to want to go.
I shouldn't even say stuff like this out loud, but I want Solskjaer to get that job so bad. And if they give him the job, that's a fucking L. That is such an L. Give him the job, man. You go on, I dare you. Give him the job, please. And all the fans that say they want him to have the job, wait till next season. Just wait, man, because this is like a flat tire. Yeah. This is a flat tire.
Okay.
So how long do you give him? If they give him the job next year, how long do you give him? Does he see out the season?
If he doesn't get top 4 again next season, he'll be gone. They won't give him.
So you give him 1 season?
Well, because he's had a half of this season, I'll only give him one more. Okay. Yeah, just one more, because then they'll have had 2 windows and they've been able to try and implement. Then we'll know if it was an effect, a buzz, if it's worn off. Do you know what I mean? Because all jokes aside, I'm not just going to start gunning him. He's done a few things this season that have been very good. Do you know what I mean? He was very, very good in a few games tactically. The Tottenham game, he was very good in the Tottenham game. I think he dealt with the injuries in the Liverpool game well. So there's been a few games, all jokes aside, he hasn't been that rubbish. But I still feel like he's not good enough. And I feel like Man U giving him the job will be a romantic kind of, oh yeah, and there won't really be no future thought in it. If Man U really want to be the shit, you get Poch at all costs and you let Poch build a team.
I'm happy with that as well.
Though if he gets in to the kind of 4th, 5th place or something, and then they say, "Oh, great, thank you, bye."
Yeah. Well, imagine they go and
came
win the
in a
Champions
mess,
League.
and then
Who, United?
Yeah, imagine United go ahead and win the Champions League.
If they win the Champions League, then you
Yeah.
can't really say much. But
Yeah.
Di Matteo did that with
Exactly,
Chelsea,
yeah.
and then he crashed
Yeah.
and burned. So that still wouldn't really prove anything.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
2012 was Juju. Everyone knows
All
Juju.
right.
Well, it was Drogba, but you know, like
And Juju. No, Drogba and Juju.
All right. Well, we'll just have to like keep an eye on that still and see. Right. We have to stop here, but fret not. This was just part 1. So do join us for part 2, which will be released very soon. And don't forget to follow us on all the social media channels. See you then. Bye.
Stay black.